Hey guys, I'm Nima from MVL, and you know we like reviewing all the fun cars here, and as much as we like talking about how these cars go fast, it's important to consider how these cars slow down. Here's a quick compilation of all the fancy braking systems that come on some of these cars. Behind there you see a steel braking system, but just because it's steel braking doesn't make it weak, especially considering this car weighs over 5,000 pounds. They're really big, their diameter is huge, the rotor's really thick, they're cross-drilled, and I believe that's a 6-piston Brembo caliper. The brakes on this particular car are your standard steel braking system. So it's still a big 6-piston Brembo brake caliper. This one's finished in black with a white Porsche script on it. Now, despite being steel brakes, these are not discount brakes whatsoever. They still perform extremely well. They're internally ventilated and they're cross-drilled and they're attached to the rotor hat with spokes. This is all to help manage heat. If you're taking the car on the street, this is more than enough to stop this car, despite the extra weight from all the hybrid components. Very effective. The brakes are revised. It's a 15.7-inch solid steel rotor with 6-piston Brembo calipers in the front. These ones are finished in black with the Brembo logo right on the brake. The rear brake doesn't look fancy. It's still a Brembo, but it's a single piston caliper. The front ones do all the work anyway, most of the work anyways, especially when you're talking about a car that's this tall. All the wheels that Ferrari make are all forged. I think this is a standard wheel for this Roma. Standard carbon ceramic brakes as well. So you can beat the crap out of these brakes and they'll just ask for more. These are 21-inch forged wheels. They have a machined lip. They look like center locks, but they're not. But this nice center cap that is kind of adorned with the AMG logo here can be twisted off to expose your lug bolts. The brakes are not carbon ceramic on this particular car, but they are a high-performance steel braking system where your rotor is actually connected to your rotor hat with spokes. This is done to save weight, and this is done to help dissipate heat better. This car is equipped with the yellow brake calipers, which is a small touch of color, which I think this car needs. Huge carbon ceramic brakes. These things are large. 6-piston Brembo calipers really shine on the track. This rear carbon ceramic brake is bigger than the front brakes of a lot of performance cars. And again, all done by Brembo, all carbon ceramic brakes have a very long service life. To change all the brakes, I haven't had to do one of those yet, but it can get really expensive. But the mileage that would be on the car to get this brake job done would probably be a lot, depending on how hard you're beating on the car. And when you get a Turbo S, you get standard Porsche, carbon ceramic braking system. If you get a regular 911 Turbo, there's a lot of options that you either have to pay more to get, which would almost put you close to the price bracket of a Turbo S, but on a Turbo S, you get the standard carbon ceramic braking system. It's a huge rotor. It's big, super tall and really thick, and they last a long time. It can take a lot of punishment. When I see brakes this big on a car this small, it's kind of comforting knowing that I know it's got the power to get going, but it's got brakes that are almost appear to be oversized in order to get it to stop. This is a 20-inch wheel in the front, 255 tire, and it's a 21-inch wheel in the back. And you can tell that I have maybe less than a centimeter on top and on bottom of the caliper before it touches the rim. So you can't put a rim smaller than 20 inches on this car. The tire on this one is a Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. Pilot Sport 4S is probably my favorite tire. I have that tire on my M3 and it doesn't disappoint. Wear rating isn't great, but it's a sticky tire. If you ask me, nobody makes a tire better than Michelin. And when you have a Turbo S, especially something that can exceed 200 miles an hour, you need the best that you can get. These wheels, they're called character wheels. That's the name of this rim style. So it appears to be kind of 5-spoke because only this portion of the rim is machined and the rest is gloss black. I told you this on other rims that are similar. It kind of adds a lot of depth and makes the car stand out. But this was a specific option that this customer had selected when it comes to this car. This is the standard braking system for the Vantage. It's a steel disc that is actually can be separated from the rotor hat. That's done for heat dissipation and things like that. They're slotted. This is your standard brake caliper. This brake caliper doesn't look particularly pretty. It still serves its purpose, and I'm quite sure that's a Brembo brake caliper, but I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I think it's a really nice wheel and it really kind of sets the car off. And with every year that they kind of replaced the Vantage since 2019, they added more rim options and more options to your palette that you can choose to kind of make the car a little bit more individual. When we get down here and look at your wheels, you can see that this rim is attached to your hub with 8 lug bolts. The more lug bolts, the more heavy duty the vehicle can handle. It looks like they took the brakes right off of a G63. So you have a huge cross-drilled and internally ventilated rotor. I'm quite sure that Brembo makes these brakes, okay? The one thing that always blew me away about these Urises is the size of these brakes. These things are the size of serving trays. They're super thick and the diameter is huge. The only car that I've seen with a braking system comparable to this is a Bugatti Veyron, which is also carbon ceramic brakes. Giant 8-piston caliper, monoblock caliper, made by Akebono, actually. These wheels are specific to the STO. They're made of magnesium, okay? So they're extra durable and they're extra light. They're center locking wheels. That's something that's part and parcel to a race car. Now, these carbon ceramic brakes may look a lot like the ones you get on a standard Hurricane, but they're not. It's a revised carbon ceramic braking system by Brembo called CCMRs that operate better with heat dissipation and brake fade, all designed for the track. So when you have CCMR, a braking system by Brembo, can be used on the street and the track. And they're basically designed to be able to carry more punishment. The internal venting is different, and there's a lot of other smaller details that make them able to withstand more abuse, which is really what you're doing to this car. I believe these are Brembo brakes. No, I think these are actually Akebono brakes. Big steel rotors. You can get these cars with carbon ceramics. I don't think this car was spec'd with that, but this rotor is about 1 inch thick and looks like the diameter is just huge. And you need that because this car is actually very heavy. Coolest engineering feats about this car is that despite its big weight, it handles its weight really well. So it's like a fat guy being able to do somersaults. It's really a sight to see how this thing hugs corners and things like that. Here's more trapezoids, okay? Standard carbon ceramic braking system provided by Brembo, Pirelli P0 tires made for Lamborghini. You got the little L inscription right there. When you're ordering the car, you can have your brakes powder coated from the factory in a number of different colors, but I thought it was a really nice touch that whoever had spec'd this car had the brake calipers to match the paint, especially when you have black wheels. Really kind of helps show off your braking system. When you have a wheel like this that has kind of these extremely open spokes, you kind of get a really good look at these carbon ceramic brakes, which are really good, better for heat dissipation. You can beat on these things. They have a long service life. I've yet to meet anyone who's had to replace these because it takes a long time in order to go through them. Interesting thing about carbon ceramic rotors is on a steel rotor, you can tell that they need to be replaced because they get scored and they form a ridge at the edge of the rotor where the brake pad makes contact. Carbon ceramic rotors are actually weighed in order to determine if they need to be replaced or not. If you look closely, there's actually a inscription here on the rotor hat that says minimum weight 6,388 grams. So if it gets close to this weight, you know that this rotor's service life is done. It takes a long time to do that. And there's also little markings on the rotor that kind of expose themselves over time in order to let you know that they're gonna need to be replaced. They get replaced because they get oxidized over time and after use.